Oh baby, NW0.
If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, lose my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life.
Will this guitar be fixed by the time I get back here again? Pull question. You see what the disaster it is currently.
It's the E string at the bottom is broken, or is it both of them?
I would be
Or just the
playing
one?
probably Amazing
Wonderwall.
Grace. Yeah.
Wonderwall.
You're playing Fuel by
But,
Metallica, but you're just playing the Barney song.
Yeah.
He plays the two guitars on what's the fucking the song?
Dragon Force?
Dragon Force.
That's pretty much
Could
what it
anybody?
sounds like.
Full question.
If it wasn't
Has
for the
anybody
Easter-
ever like beat that on like?
I've
Epic?
seen it. I've seen it get beat.
But like somebody you know.
Is the little E the most important string, and I would be playing probably Dragon Force without it. If I had it. Pull question.
Actually, you could probably just play any song. You don't need it.
You know what it is?
Has Abel ever been more wrong? Pull question. No or hell no.
Welcome everyone to the New World Order podcast. This is Abel Loza, and joining me as always are my co-host and co-conspirator CJ,
I want to be Andres.
Andres, and Barker.
I want to be Mr. Tuttle.
Mr. Tuttle. This is the NW where we're trying to take over the world by
That's
spreading the
bullshit. I disagree.
bi-weekly pop culture news from across different genres, which include movies, comics, TV
Wrong.
shows, or anything that we consider nerd. The Nerd World Order podcast, the greatest in poopertainment since 2017.
This is a strong start to
It's
this
a very
podcast.
strong start. So I guess I'm having some pushback here. So CJ and Barker were able to beat the storm out. They barely made it.
Fucking barely.
Good
Good lord. His like windshield wiper like flew off the side.
Did you die?
No, we were about to die.
His windshield wipers they're like dangling in the wind like paraplegic legs.
They're
just
like
blah, blah,
two
blah, blah.
like banners that say "Please kill us now."
Well, look, you and this actually have the same problem. That you guys' windshields don't work. But he's just a lazy ass, and he just needs to buy the rubber part where your motor doesn't work. Yeah, so he can't come out here when it's raining. And I'm like, dude, we live in like Thunderstorm Alley. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, I need to get him. And does he ever get him? No.
Mine's the motor. Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah,
It's actually still
CJ's also lazy and
It's still pretty easy. Yeah.
You too. You live in where we have rain every day, and you don't get them fixed.
I probably won't. Yeah, let's call it what it is.
Poll question: what will CJ do first? Fix his windshield wipers or watch Logan? Poll question.
No. Poll question: who's gonna get it fixed first? His windshield wipers or your guitar?
All right.
Now it's on.
Yeah, you're right. Now it's on. I fixed the other one.
Spoiler alert: it's Abel.
Okay.
Abel will do whatever he was
always
going to
Abel.
do first.
Abel will be able to divide by 0 before you can say anything.
Well, actually, I was just telling CJ.
Abel's going to do whatever he was just lying about first, before I do. What? Sorry.
Oh, what was I lying about? The guitar?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I keep telling myself, I'm like, okay, I'm going to come down here, I'm going to polish it, I'm going to put the strings together. It never happens. It's like 11 o'clock. This is the routine every day. I go to work. It gets to be about 5 o'clock because I leave at 5:30. I'm like, dude, now that I don't have a second job.
You
like,
leave at 5? Oh, you mean like coming
Yeah,
home?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I get off at 5:30.
Yeah.
But like it starts to getting around 5, and it's like, oh man, I have the rest of the afternoon. I have the rest of the day. I can work out. Like I'm gonna eat. Like I can finally finish that article I've been working on. Remember that article I told you guys about Superman in Kansas? Like it's halfway done, but I haven't been able to finish it. It's still in my drive.
2 months ago.
Yeah, and then I can go downstairs and organize my comics or fix my guitars. Next thing I know, it's 11 o'clock, and I'm like, what the fuck? You're like, what happened to my night? And then the next day, it's like, okay, no, today's going to be different. And it's never different. It's always the same. Yeah.
Is it ever different? Pull
Poll
question.
question, and it's not. Alrighty, moving on. We're going to get into the show. It was CJ's turn to get beer the show. What did you get?
Some beer.
Oh, that's good to know.
Maybe next time I'll bring vodka. We'll do vodka the show.
Ugh.
This is a peanut butter porter.
Did you buy that at Dylan's?
No, I bought this at Mauritius' house.
Did he just have them left over or what?
No,
Oh,
Mauricio,
snap.
yeah.
I didn't know he gave me those. He gave me those.
You can have them.
What is that?
He gave us these peanut butter porters.
Clamato. So Clamato.
Oh, so Sol Chiladas.
Yeah.
Nah, motherfucker. So Clamatos. It's very different.
It's
The salt gelato.
It's not social.
It's a chelada. The clamato's just the tomato
Tomato
juice.
juice and the clam
You can't
juice.
buy that in America.
You can now. At the liquor
No,
store.
they're different. I'm not saying.
Well, everything in Mexico is different because even the Cokes or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Those are like.
Yeah, everybody swears up and down Mexican Coke
Well,
is different.
I want this to
never
be-
tasted
this
the
is-
difference.
Really? Oh,
I
it
never-
tastes different for sure. I
It
think.
totally does.
Yeah.
Whatever you take from this is better than whatever crap you're getting. That's what I really want to get across. This is more exclusive.
I mean, he went to Mexico thinking of me and he brought me some. Has he ever done that?
What do you mean?
When he went to Mexico last time? Like 2 months ago or whatever? Mauricio? Or like
Oh.
6 months ago?
No.
Mauricio?
Or yeah, well, he did that one time. But
Yeah, and he brought me some back.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a new rule. The person who brings the beer has to make a toast or whatever.
Here's the Thor Odinson.
Okay.
Get better, buddy.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the second one I've had, and it's the exact same as the other one.
Not good.
Yeah. It's not terrible. It's not that bad. You've had worse beer than that.
I've had worse beer. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not a big fan of peanut butter.
Oh, really?
I'm not a fan of porters.
Peanut butter is delicious.
I like peanut butter, but like maybe it's just Reese's I don't like. I don't like Reese's because of the peanut butter. But just today, actually, I cut an apple up and I had it with peanut butter. But
It's delicious.
but it has to be crunchy peanut butter.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell
Fuck
I'm with you on
yeah!
that.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do that.
I'm
shit.
with you on that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck those who like smooth peanut butter. Poll question.
Yeah.
That's a definite. If you don't have crunchy, fuck out of here.
If you don't have crunchy, get the fuck out of here.
What are
poll
you,
question.
German?
Yeah. Can creamy people go to hell? Question.
Exactly.
This is a special place in hell for you if you like creamy peanut butter.
There's a when I first got with my girlfriend a long fucking time ago, she kept peanut butter in the fridge, and
Do you
I was
not?
like, no,
You don't.
You
have
do?
To. You don't have
Yeah.
to. No.
Anyway,
Do you put ketchup in the fridge?
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Okay, because that
I'm not a crazy person.
Yeah, people have it in the cupboard. I'm
You
like,
put Tabasco in the refrigerator.
You don't until you open it. After you open it, then you have to.
Yeah.
ketchup or Tabasco?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, we put
But
Tabasco.
you never put peanut butter in the fridge. What? You do?
Yeah.
That's so. Oh my gosh. Do you put peanut butter in the fridge, or are you normal? Poll question.
We put it in the cupboard until it's open.
When I was little,
Well, yeah.
when I was little, we used to put bread in the refrigerator, and I never knew why.
I still put
That's
bread in the
so
fridge.
weird. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I put on Twitter. She didn't follow me on Twitter, and I put on Twitter is like, if you put peanut butter in the fridge, you can burn an extra crunchy hell. And she read this. She followed me. Started following me on Twitter like a year later, and she instantly knew that was her. Like at her, she got so mad. It
That's a
was
subtweet. That's a subtweet if I've ever heard. Alrighty. So poll questions. Last week we talked about.
But can you burn an extra crunchy hell if you put peanut butter in the fridge? Poll question.
I guess I'm burning.
Yeah.
So last week we watched Dark Phoenix, and the question.
That was like 4 peanut butter polls in a row.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're doing.
Hey,
Are you here for peanut butter polls?
hold on. But it was a really good spread.
You need to file that and get out of here.
Peanut butter is spread.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, we got it.
He's like, you guys get it, huh?
Did you get it? Poll question.
Like that Family Guy bit where it's like, look at my kids! Look at my kids!
Yeah, we see him.
Alrighty, the poll question from last week, we watched Dark Phoenix. What did you think? On Facebook, 57% said great or good. 43% said meh or bad.
Did you watch the same movie we did? Because I feel like you didn't.
We did though. You guys are just wrong.
57?
Some of the podcasts I listened to, I actually didn't think it was the worst.
Yeah, it's not. You guys are
A
wrong.
lot of people think Apocalypse is a lot worse than Dark Phoenix.
No.
It is.
I put Apocalypse before
I
Dark
do
Phoenix.
too, yeah.
Well, you guys are just wrong.
On Twitter,
It's nothing abnormal or
on
weird.
Twitter, same poll question. 43% said great, 14% said good, and 43% said meh.
Together, that's more than 43, so that counts. That is...
The fuck is wrong with you people?
No, that's not the correct question to ask. What is wrong with you?
No.
You're wrong.
No.
This happened before. It'll happen again. You're wrong.
You know who else thought was right and they were in a group? Nazis.
You know what? I can't argue that. That's a valid point.
Okay, the rest of the poll questions. Do we do butt stuff? 100% said yes.
I can tell you.
Are you fine when
firsthand.
you mix steroids and cocaine? 100% said yes. It's a crazy... Oh, is that a crazy coincidence? 100% said yes.
What was that?
Oh, rumors?
Oh, yeah.
Can Greg Cody suck Abel's balls? 100% said yes. The better artist, Queen, 100%. Is it weird that no Power Ranger actor made it big? 100% said yes. Fuck humans, 100% said yes. Are we the reason? 100% said yes. Get the fuck out of here with Joe Jonas. 75% said yes, 25% said no. If you guys want to vote on our polls, follow us on Facebook or on Twitter, and you guys can let us know what you're thinking. Vote on our polls, subscribe, all that good stuff. So follow us on social networking. Oh, and Instagram. I keep forgetting that one. You guys can add us there. Whitney hasn't said anything because we're recording early this week, so he hasn't said anything. So
Okay.
save your 2 cents,
double
Whitney.
dose next week.
Yeah, a double dose of Whitney next
A
week.
DP of the
You
Buckman.
know, is Whitney going to DP us next weekend? Poll question.
We're gonna be airtight.
Vacuum sealed.
Awesome.
we're off to a good start.
A rousing start
rousing
to
start.
this podcast.
An arousing start.
Ooh, are we off to an arousing start? We're gonna have a fuck ton of poll questions that I have to write down.
CJ just said that. My nips got hard.
All right, since
Should we keep adding poll questions just to add poll questions?
Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite because when I'm editing the show, I always have to stop it, rewind it, and then listen to it again. Make sure I got it right, stop it, rewind it. I'm like, okay, I can move forward like 4 times. So those are my favorite.
Make it number 5. Poll question.
Okay, before we move on to This Week in Nerd, Andres isn't here, even though he said he was going to be here, I think. He's going to Vegas this weekend. Or next weekend, they're going from Wednesday to Sunday, I think. So they're going to the casino today to quote-unquote practice.
Practice what?
Losing
money?
Yeah. So he's not here to read the news that he gave me, but I got it for him. This is the Andres Loza Memorial Anime Minute. With the premiere of A Certain Scientific Accelerator edging... That's the name of the show. A certain scientific accelerator. That's what Andres told me. I don't know. Edging ever closer to its premiere date in July 2019. Fans of the series have been wondering how many episodes the spin-off anime series would receive. Twitter user PKJD8I8 dropped the news that the spin-off series would receive 12 episodes of its initial run. The quote Toran Kagaku no Accelerator TV anime will consist of 12 episodes. So there you go. You guys need to check that out.
Damn, my nips got even harder.
Yeah, there you go.
Cuckoo, kaku.
That actually sounded like
a
progressive rock band. A certain scientific accelerator. Like,
what?
they just have guitars. And
Fall of Troy is the first progressive band I think of. They're just kind of progressive a little bit. Have you heard Fall of Troy? Hey, I knew you've heard of Fall of Troy.
Probably not. I mean, probably not. I don't like prog rock. It's up its own ass.
Do you like Rush?
It's up its own ass.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it is.
I love Neil Peart, which is nice.
You don't like Geddy Lee? And
I
the
like
other guy
Mars
that's part of the band?
I like Mars Volta. They're super progressive.
Mars Volta's cool.
Yeah.
And actually, at the drive-in.
At the
I don't know if
drive-in.
you'd call it... They're kind of punky.
They're-
They're like progressive punk.
Yeah,
which is
they're dipping their toes in a lot and their
Yeah,
fingers in a lot of
yeah.
things. So,
But other than that, no, not really.
all right,
Poll question.
poll question.
Good luck.
Hey CJ,
Yeah.
do you love the NWO?
Yeah.
Do you like supporting things you love by giving them an amount of money so small that you wouldn't notice or feel leaving your bank account?
Yeah.
Then you'd be perfect to donate to the NWO cause, which will help us create more content and become a better podcast. Is that something you like to do?
Yeah.
Then visit us on patreon.com/NoRolled and give us a monthly donation to help us out. Or if you want, give us a one-time donation. Please go to our PayPal at nerdworldorder2@gmail.com.
Yeah?
Yeah, and remember folks, obey the NWO. This Week in Nerd, we actually missed a lot last week, so I'm just going to run through these real quick and just tell me your 2 cents. The Suicide Squad is rumored to add Benicio Del Toro as their main villain, which is
Stupid.
pretty cool. I like Benicio Del Toro.
Stupid. Next.
Why?
I
They're thinking about making him the general, who the general name for the character's gimmick for military strategy and prowess with small arms. Stories involved the character often include historic military references and themes. So
I can see him doing that.
You know who I want to see more? That the general in Rogue One, the first dude.
oh yeah,
That
yeah,
guy's badass.
That
They
is
should put him in things, and they don't. He was in Doctor Strange, I guess, which is cool. That was the same guy, right? Was he the villain in Doctor Strange? The guy with the crazy eyes.
Mark
The-
Medicine.
I don't know. Was that him?
Oh, Mendelsohn. Yeah,
Mendelsohn.
yeah.
No, that's Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn.
No,
That
yeah.
he was the Skrull.
He was the
Captain
Skrull.
Marvel,
He was in Rogue One, and then he was in
but it's a totally different guy with Doctor Strange.
yeah. In that,
No,
no,
it's not.
oh no. I know who you're thinking of. That he played Hannibal in the TV show.
It's two different people.
It's two different people.
Oh,
Ben
okay.
Mendelsohn, but they're in the same movie. I'm thinking Ben Mendelsohn, the bad guy, the main bad guy, the guy with kind of a lisp
In what movie?
in Rogue One.
Oh, no, he's not a bad guy. The guy who built the shit.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, he's Danish.
He was Caecilius.
Yeah.
From
He's the guy who built the shit.
Yeah.
That guy should be in more things.
Yeah.
They rumored him to be Doctor Doom if they do.
That'd be cool.
I don't think he was already in the Marvel universe.
Chris Evans was.
No, not
Doctor
really.
Strange,
Jordan
right?
was.
How is he in the Marvel universe?
Not really. Well, he was in the Marvel universe
How is
proper.
he in the Marvel?
He was the
universe?
bad guy in Doctor Strange.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but he can't be Doctor Doom.
So I was right. The guy in
Yeah,
Rogue
that's
One.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who are you guys talking about?
Ben Mendelsohn. He was the Skrull. He was the main guy, the main bad
Skrull
guy in Rogue One,
in Captain Marvel.
and he was in Ready Player One.
Who was he in Ready Player One?
He was the main bad guy. He's always the bad guy.
Hey, it just sounds like he's just getting
He
typecasted.
was the
the main dude. Like
Yeah. the main.
Oh, not that guy.
And he was the main
Man, fuck
bad
that
guy. I just peripherally.
He was the Skrull.
Yeah, he was the main Skrull. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he the movie Robin Hood with Taker Egerton was in on peripherally, and he was the bad guy in that.
Nobody watched that.
Nobody really no. That was before Dark Phoenix. That was the biggest bomb.
Hey Ben, we got a movie production company on the phone. I'll get my villain hat.
He's not even like that great.
Are you okay?
Don't
Good beer. No, because I could just see him like, he puts his hat on and he
It
like,
just says villain on it.
yeah.
It's actually better if it's begrudging.
Well, no, I got that from when it's like, hey Danny DeVito, what's his name?
I know you're talking about, what's his name? He's directing another movie, get your top hat on. Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Because he
Tim
always
Burton's
has
on the phone. I'll get my top hat on.
Because he always has a top hat at the
With
top.
Batman
yeah.
and the other ones that he did.
Dumbo, and then he did another one that he had a
Yeah.
top hat in, yeah. Okay. We were supposed to move real quick. I guess we're not.
No, not even close.
Did you guys see the Wonder Woman poster?
Yeah.
You didn't see it?
Yeah.
CJ, you son of a bitch.
You could have played along.
Here, I got it real quick.
Andres already has it as his background on his phone. Let me tell you, dude, this is probably one of the coolest.
Wow, Abel got it way faster.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That looks dope, right?
Wow, that does look dope.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty cool.
People are getting obviously the '80s vibe for it because it's 1980.
Wow,
Also, people.
that says way more 70s to me.
I think '80s.
I think 70s.
But I think
you overestimate the 80s. Does Abel overestimate the 80s?
If you guys could pick a decade to go back and live,
80s.
80s.
Not the 80s.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
80s?
Yeah.
You pick the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And you'd rather live in the 70s?
The music, the
I'd
fashion,
rather pick the
TV
60s.
shows. 60s.
Actually,
60s are dope.
I think I do the
I would
60s.
actually, if I got to pick one, I'd pick the 20s. Other than that, I would pick the 60s.
So you wanted, like,
Polio and shit?
polio?
No, I want to be a cool gangster
War.
who says, yeah, Shay, and I want to have a Tommy gun
Do that
with
again?
a thing. No.
Yeah,
No,
Shay.
Shay. I want to be that guy.
You never
But
get
if I
away-
can't be that guy, I want to be the cool hippie in the 60s.
You'll never get away with it, capa.
Yeah, that guy. I want to be
Alright.
that guy.
Actually, I've always thought I would always want to fight in World War II, so probably the 40s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd actually be pretty
I'd kill
cool.
some Nazis.
I don't want to fight.
Kill some Nazis.
I would like to be...
No, I'd fight. I'd volunteer right away.
Fuck that. Then you don't get the whole story. You just get your story. Fuck that.
That's fine.
Your story sucks now. Not the whole story. Not everyone's story. I'd like to be a historian during the 40s. That'd be cool.
I always thought it'd be cool to have a superpower where you're immortal. but
Be
you
Winston Churchill.
I don't want to be Winston Churchill.
Why not?
I don't know. Just seems.
No, but he knew all the cool stuff.
Yeah, but nah, fuck that. Some fat bloated.
Madam,
British
tomorrow I'll be sober and you'll
What are you
still
trying
be
to say?
ugly.
What are you trying to say? What's wrong with that?
I said British.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Moving on. Jurassic Park's gonna release a Netflix show in 2020, animated. So that's I don't know, it's whatever. Black Adam's found its director, Jamie Colette Sarah, who just wrapped shooting Disney's The Jungle Cruise, who has The Rock in it. Dwayne Johnson. He's directing Black Adam.
You started to say Jamie, and I totally went to Jamie Kennedy. I was like, that's a way different movie than whatever you were talking about.
Son of the Mask. And then
Most wanted.
the next, the Russo Brothers are releasing a movie with. Have you seen the previews for it with Black Panther? What's his name? Chadwick Boseman. It's called 21 Bridges. It's like a cop movie. Their next big like genre thing is they're making a Magic the Gathering TV show on Netflix. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Have you guys ever played Magic?
Yes.
What do you prefer, Magic or Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, D&D for sure. Yeah. It's completely. It's not the same.
Oh, I know, but what for you? What's more entertaining?
D&D. Yeah.
God,
If I could only play D&D, I would. D&D is crazy. I love video games, but D&D is just another level of. I don't know. It's different. It's hard to explain. We'll get our D&D group eventually.
As soon as you fix your windshield wipers, and as soon as I fix my guitar, we're gonna get that D&D group going. Alrighty, now for the news that came out this week. Just a story that won't die. It seems like there was another big leak that was released after Swamp Thing was canceled.
James Gunn's fired. No, I'm kidding.
So the original plan for Swamp Thing was a 3-season arc that spun off into Justice League Dark.
Wow,
That's fucking dope. Yeah.
That's not happening now.
According to Business Insider, a source claims a potential 3-season arc was discussed on Swamp Thing's set, and crew members believe the show could have lasted even longer than that. The source also claims the idea of Swamp Thing characters spinning off into their own shows was thrown around with the Justice League Dark team spin-off series mentioned as a possibility. And what they were thinking for that team, Constantine, Satana, Deadman, Madame Xanadu, Shay the Changing Man, and Swamp Thing. So
cool. And that's canned.
Yeah, obviously. So they have a really good comic book run with Constantine, Zatanna, Deadman, Etrigan the Demon, who rhymes everything he says. He's like
Cat in the Hat.
Kinda, but it's more like, you will not defeat me tonight.
Jam up to the brim.
You will not defeat me tonight until something
We are super gonna
lick
fight.
on my balls. All right.
That started bombing just at the beginning. I was like, where is he rolling with this? Like,
Yeah, but no, he rhymes everything, and his name is actually Jason Blood, and he switches back between a human and a demon. It's pretty cool, but yeah, the entire Justice League Dark, it's like supernatural Justice League, and it was fucking cool. Right now, there's actually a comic book run with Justice League Dark, except it has Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Detective Chimp, and Man-Bat. So that's pretty cool. You know who Man-Bat is? Okay, the inverted Batman.
I'm about had it with DC Comics. I'm over it. Going back to Marvel. Hashtag Marvel everything.
So they announced 4 more villains for the Batman movie. Did you hear about this?
No.
You probably did. So Firefly and Mad Hatter is joining Two-Face and Riddler and Catwoman and Penguin.
Those
so
are my
6 altogether.
testicles.
So, what do you think about that? What do you think about... Okay, let me start here. How would you...
Is that for the Pattinson?
Yeah. How would you... What story... It doesn't have to be a comic-specific story, but what do you think is the best way to kind of have their villains kind of have their... Each one of them have their own part in the movie. How would you do that? How would you do that?
I mean, I would just think Escape of... Arkham Escape.
CJ?
Or Escape from Arkham.
I say Batman turns evil, and they have to stop him, and they have to team up to do it. That would be how I would do it.
So Suicide Squad?
No, I'm on like a good character turning evil thing, like Brightburn opened up a can of worms.
Did you go see it again?
No, I wanted to. I'm mad that I can't. It's out of theaters. Already.
You know what other movie's out of theaters finally?
What?
Avengers.
Nah,
Yeah.
is it really? It's
Yeah.
gonna make me sad.
There was a rumor that said that a guy watched it
I only saw
10
it 3
times, and
times.
I was like, CJ's got that beat.
No, I only saw it 3 times. I'm really sad.
You could have bought like a mortgage for a house. That's how many times as you went to the...
It's super emotional every time. It's crazy.
That's
a crazy movie.
I went to a certain
That's
website.
a perfect movie.
I went to a certain website knowing that this movie was going to be in there, Pornhub, and I looked up just the last scene, the last fight, the last like 20 minutes of the movie. Dude, I watched it twice in a row. So I spent 40 minutes watching the same goddamn scene. It's good. It's good.
That movie's crazy, bro.
But
Marvel Universe, the MCU in entirety is underrated.
the one
right
villain in that
Say that
that
for
I don't know how they're gonna do is Mad Hatter.
I think it has to be an Arkham Asylum kind of thing where you can see all of them.
Check us out. Think of the MCU, right? Think of it. Think about it. Just think about it. Just think about it. What's your favorite show?
Ever?
Yeah.
Probably Game of Thrones.
It ended shittily.
Yeah.
What's your favorite show?
Scrubs.
Scrubs ended shittily.
Not if you don't count season 9.
We count season 9, motherfuckers. Which is my point. The only thing to ever do it right is the MCU. And they did it through 20 motherfucking
The Sopranos
movies.
did it pretty good.
No, they didn't.
Breaking Bad did it good.
People were pissed about that.
Breaking Bad did it good.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Breaking Bad got worse.
No, it didn't.
And if Breaking Bad would have ended at season 4, the end of season 4, perfect.
No, season 5
he
did
wins,
pretty good.
He blows that guy's face off. It's
You
awesome.
can't win. He can't win.
Why not?
Because this isn't the topic. Moving on.
I'm right.
Speaking of Batman, they released a trailer for Pennysworth. Did you see that?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen that? No, you haven't seen it.
haven't.
All right, I'm gonna put pause real quick.
No, I haven't seen it.
All right, so we watched that. What'd you think, Parker?
I really liked it.
I actually surprisingly like that.
Yeah.
It's on Epix, a channel that I've never heard of before.
And like I said, I saw something on TV about it, but there wasn't really a trailer.
Yeah, it looks good. I like the accent they're using. It's that Cockney accent, so it's sounding more like Michael Caine,
Yeah.
the size of a tangerine. So that's pretty good. CJ, what'd you think?
I didn't like it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not here for anything that's Alfred Pennyworth centric. Not because he's not cool, but because if he was that cool, why wasn't he just Batman? Like, we have Batman already. We don't need Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred Pennyworth is cool just being an ancillary cool character.
Well, you have to find out. You don't have to, but it'd be cool to find out that he was M5 or M6 or whatever, and he knows how to. Because what does he do? He stitches up Batman, so it'd be cool to know how he learned that on the field, like in training. And it's cool. There's a very specific book written by Jeff Jones called Batman Earth 1, and it's very. I'm sure this is that's where they stole it from, but Alfred is kind of a badass old I have it here, an old Marine, an old British Marine. Let me see.
I guess no, that is cool, but I just don't think it's worth it.
Royal Marine, yeah, so that's pretty cool. I think that's cool.
A movie would be better. I'd rather watch a Pennyworth movie.
No,
series.
I don't think I think it's opposite. I don't think people would watch an Alfred
Did
movie.
you ever watch the animated show Beware the Batman?
No.
They kind of did Alfred kind of like that too.
Yeah.
He was like Royal Guard for like the Queen and everything like that, and then like moved here because he was just tired of like killing and everything like that. And so then that's when he met up with Thomas Wayne.
There is
But he's still a badass in that.
There is actually a comic book I need you to read, is particularly to Alfred, and it ties in why he was a badass, and then he kind of flipped the switch and he became more of a father figure. Dude, perfect. Like it almost makes you cry how good it is.
What is it?
I'll look it up. I have to look it up to remember, but I remember it.
Was it recent?
Last couple of years or so, yeah. Cool. All right. I'd watch that. So.
Yeah, I would too.
I wouldn't.
Gotta figure out where Epix is though.
Yeah, same. All right. So CJ and I were actually having this conversation about the about Tom King and the line that he's doing. Well, his last issue is going to be issue 85. He's been writing the Batman main series now for a couple years. Luna, stop. Fucking...
Since 2016.
Fill the air. I gotta plug this back in. You guys aren't doing a good job of filling air.
Fill in air.
Did you work today?
No, but I drank a whole bunch of beer. I'm not drunk, but I definitely know that I've been drinking.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So Tom King will split from the main series after issue 85. Before the initial series was supposed to finish at 100. So a 12-issue Batman Catwoman series will apparently feature the big news Phantom from Mask of the Phantasm. That'll be the first time ever that bad guy is gonna be canon in the DC universe. So that's pretty cool. Have you seen Mask of the Phantasm?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Mask of the Phantasm? Dude, that is one of the
It's one of the better Batman movies.
yeah. And not just, I'm not saying just animated movies, better movies. It's on the DC app.
I'll check it out.
You should watch it. So
It's not a thing like I would watch it. It's fine.
preview for January
I just haven't.
2020. No, he's not gonna watch
Wait,
it. Watch Barry season 1 again for the 3rd time.
I've only.
You should tell you guys, Barry's very good. You guys are missing out.
Hey, you guys want to miss out on Barry? Be my guests. I'll just be over here being better. That's fine. Who's going to take over the run?
They don't know. Because Tom King, I mean, you're up to where they have it on the DC app's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. No one's gonna do it better than that. So they can just fuck off with whoever they want. It's very confusing, and I don't like how it's confusing. There's 3 Batman continuities currently, right? There's Batman.
Technically, yes. When they did... Okay, so...
Yes, please.
Let me learn you something. So there was the original run from 1927 to...
Should you start with DC Comics, even?
Yeah. So from 1937 to 2009
Is DC Comics.
is the original continuity, yes.
That's what DC Comics is.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. The comic of DC Comics is that what you just said.
What do you mean by DC Comics?
That's a comic. DC Comics. Or DC...
Detective Comics?
I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, that's
Okay.
far why confusing. Detective Comics is a comic book.
Yes.
It ran from... It introduced Batman, of course. It's still going with Batman in it.
Yes.
So that's
it just
one
hit issue
full...
1,000 like a month ago, yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's a full thing. Now you have Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Batman New 52. All these are still going.
No.
Then you have Batman Rebirth.
But those are 3 different ones. Those are... So, okay. Detective Comics is one. Yes, that's the original line. But then Batman got his own title. Like the year...
How does that work? They're both
within the same continuity. Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes when they do big events, they'll kind of intertwingle. But usually...
They're intertingle?
Intertingle.
Hell yeah. Well, they intertingle.
But usually how it's written is the Batman solo series is Batman. Batman sometimes periphery character. Sometimes. Detective Comics is more of the Bat family.
Okay.
And Bat kind of a bigger universe, right? Sometimes they do intertwine, right? But those are the 2 main titles, right? So, DC Comics was then rebooted, you could say, in 2000. I think it was 2009. In 2009, that's when New 52, and the reason they call it New 52, it's actually an arbitrary number that whatever. That's how many titles that they had at the time, and they just called it New 52. So what they did when they rebooted is they just wanted to give their characters a fresh start for a modern age, right? So almost everybody got a semi-new origin story along the same lines, but maybe some details here and there, right? So that happened.
Just updating it.
Yeah. So that happened for about 19, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 6 years when DC Comics was like, no, you know what? Like, people like the other thing better. So they created this big event where it was, oh, wait, we're going to intermingle the 2 timelines. And now there's a comic book, The Doomsday Clock, that is trying to explain what happened. And they're trying to say that Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen fucked with all that timeline. But technically, not all of it is one continuity. It gets confusing, I know, but that's what the story is.
That sucks. Everything you just said sucks.
They've done that with Marvel. They rebooted like 3 times in the last like 10 years.
I bet it was cooler, probably.
No.
It could have been. It probably might have been. Was it probably maybe possible?
I like how you give me those eyes, but the only comic book you read there right now is Batman.
Yeah, that's true. And Nightwing. And actually, I've gone back in time. I'm reading right now. I just finished Batman Shaman. I'm about to read Batman Gothic.
Batman Gothic's really good.
Which is all the same. It's Legends of the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's under the same...
Oh, I saw it on the DC app that you're reading this, because we definitely don't share one. Yeah. But no, dude, everything else, any other titles that come out are either like what if stories or like just miniseries.
That's a shitload of catching up, though.
You don't have to read all of it, dude.
So Legends of the Dark Knight is a what if?
No, I think they're still part of the main continuity. So.
Yeah.
Just read it. At this point, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's a good point.
Doesn't matter.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
All right.
They'll just pick and choose whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
like,
so it doesn't matter.
That's
it
good.
doesn't
You're
matter.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Good talk, guys.
Moving on.
I clocked it like at 11 minutes. I didn't
Well,
tell.
at least you contributed.
Yeah, no, you guys were all like butt
Are you
hungry.
glad Dustin's here?
You guys were all butt hungry for that, so.
So.
Oh, by the way, Nightwing, great. Fantastic. It's beautiful. I'm like 6 episodes in, or 6 issues in. It's amazing.
Tom King wrote that one.
What happened was, I did the Night of the Monster Men, which was great, by the way. And then they talked about Red Robin dying. Spoiler alert.
If you're, yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, that led me back to that whole story, which led me back to the first story of Jason Todd, which led me back to and I'm just the whole thing.
It's a rabbit hole, so it's fine. Honestly,
I'll be reading Batman comics for the next eternity.
What you should do is stop everything and read Mr. Miracle. It's super good.
Is that Marvel?
No, it's DC.
Jesus. Well, I think I'm just gonna reboot it 9 times.
9 times. They rebooted twice.
Is that more than you've ever rebooted anything? Poll question. Yes.
Rebooted your booty. All right, moving on.
Did you reboot my booty? Poll question.
So we were talking about how how Jurassic Park got an animated TV show. Well, so is Fast and Furious. Is this where we decide that there's finally too much content anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there too much content anywhere? Poll question. Everywhere. Are we proof of that?
Yeah, no shit. This podcast.
Shit, we'll just reboot the podcast.
I don't feel like going to look straight whenever you're left.
Yes. You won't like it. I'm really sorry about that.
What?
You're a dick.
Oh, it's porter?
Give her the other thing.
No, I like
Oh, yeah, you can have this,
As long as
actually.
it's not an IPA.
It's warm, though. I don't think you'll like it.
I'll drink both, actually.
I have some Paps.
Oh, you do have some
Yeah.
Paps. Those aren't too
Oh, and then the
I'll
beer. I have one of the beers that he brought like 2 weeks ago still.
Oh, yeah.
Now I have a variety. No, I really don't have a variety.
That is fucking delicious.
What, this?
Yeah. Put it in the freezer for like.
She
15
knows.
minutes.
You like
I've
those?
had these before.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, my wife made a special.
Special appearance.
So actually, we're gonna go out with the bang. We've been dragging asses in these sections, so it's fine. So somebody
You know
online.
what? We're nerding out.
Yeah, no, you're right. We did nerd out, but so somebody online was like, "Hey, you know who should play Bane? Batista." So then Batista on Twitter was like, "Sign me up." And the only reason I bring that up is like, yeah, that makes fucking
of
sense,
course
dude.
it is.
Yeah. So that'd be cool. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, I can't think of better perfect casting in a
pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty
pretty
good. The only other, okay, we're gonna do it right now.
He's even like a little bit, like, he gives off Hispanic.
Yeah, he does. I thought he was with the last name Batista. I thought he was Hispanic when I watched him growing up wrestling.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So, okay. Batista aside for Bane, what current or in any movie from here, from the very first comic book movie, which is Superman, to the one that just came out last month, whatever, Dark Phoenix last week, who is the perfect casting for any role?
I mean, that's pretty.
Who do you say?
Heath Ledger.
Is the Joker? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
That's pretty good. There's a bunch of right answers. The rightest answer is Heath Ledger, of course.
Oh man, I just had him in my head.
Are you gonna say Jack Nicklaus?
No, because like in order to have the perfect
I
one,
know.
like he cannot be in any other movie. You can't think of it in any other movie. He is specifically that, and I think that's Ryan Reynolds.
I think
That's Deadpool.
I have a shitload of Ryan Reynolds movies.
J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah
that's pretty
Jameson.
good.
He is the best casted person
pretty
in
good.
Get me photos of Spider-Man.
Yeah, dude. How perfect is that, right? Like, he is perfect in
We've
that
had
movie.
this conversation
Well, then-
before.
Yeah, I think
and,
so,
And
yeah.
then he
And we ended on those two,
yeah.
actually, I think.
and then he transverses into the animated show too.
Yeah, he does the voice on
Yeah.
that. He's perfect.
Yeah,
he's the
he's fantastic.
perfect J.
I
Jonah
don't know.
Jameson.
I know him as the
He's
yellow M&M,
almost
so.
better than Ryan Reynolds is for Deadpool. honestly.
And it's for such a small part, but it's like, dude, she's of so much
It was
scenery.
probably supposed to be a small part. I bet it wouldn't surprise me to find out they expanded it a little bit because of how great he is.
He's so good in it, right?
He's
Yeah.
great.
Okay. Moving on.
Wow, that's great.
Florida news. Florida man
That's
arrested.
really sorry.
No, you're good.
That's really niche kind of, but that would be a great like bracket.
I knew that's where you were going. Could you think of 64 characters?
Could we do like an
I don't know,
NIT
maybe
special?
maybe like a
32?
32 or 60.
We could do 32.
Just as a kind of like a one-off,
you're
a
right.
what-if series.
No, we'll do a CBA of 8. So
That'd be fun.
I think CBA 16.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. But I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
He would have to be a 1 seed, right? With Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
I bet I could be 32.
And maybe Christian Bale.
Yeah. I had Christian Bale in my mind.
I'd put him a high 2 seed for Batman.
Or Heath Ledger up
We'd
there.
talk it out.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that one show. And
Iron Man is, you know.
oh, yeah, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Yeah.
Oh, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Okay.
All the Chris's, actually.
Okay, so should we make it official now then? Is that
It'd
what
be
we're
fun.
doing next year?
Yeah.
Okay. Or we want
Is
to do
that,
villains?
that's not too convoluted, you don't think?
It's too
Like too nuanced.
too
Like
niche?
too, yeah.
Nah, fuck it.
Nah.
It's a podcast called The Nerd World.
You are absolutely right. I don't know what I'm talking
It's
about.
not a podcast called Hey Random Things. It's
That's fair
called.
enough.
Okay.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Read the fucking shirt.
Am I sorry?
Oh, wait.
All right, Florida news. Before we move on to the main event, Florida man arrested for covering sleeping girlfriend in ketchup and saying, "That's what you get, bitch."
That's all. That's arrestable.
What's going through her mind when that happens? Waking up in ketchup.
I read the article. I
That's what you get,
I
bitch.
guess she cheated on him. So as she was sleeping, he doused her with ketchup and was like, "That's what you get, bitch."
That's awesome. What? That's arrestable? How is that arrestable?
It's Florida, dude. I don't know.
Like he's
There was meth somewhere involved.
he's at the store with all this ketchup, and they're like, "What's all the ketchup for?" My fucking girlfriend's a cheating whore. Like, what?
Oh no, not even that. What's all that ketchup for? Some whore.
I'm just like, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Any other state, he would have like questioned it. But
Yeah, we live in
he's like,
Pensacola,
well, this
right?
is Florida.
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday. So.
Yeah.
Actually, when I saw the picture and I saw the headline, I thought it was Florida, but this is actually Texas. They found an alligator with a knife stuck in its head, and so the local animal control was trying to get it to remove the knife. I don't know if they did, but I thought that shit was funny, and I'm like, Texas, huh? Y'all moved up the scale with that one.
You're getting there, Texas.
Dude, Texas is right behind.
It's like Florida Junior.
Yeah. Texas are the most obnoxious Americans.
Basically all southern states. So they're kind of...
Texas people are more obnoxious. Than
Except if you listen to the show.
yeah.
Moving on.
We love you. Keep listening.
Main event: Batman
Hey,
vs.
that's not an insult. Texas people are obnoxious. It's just a hard fact. They're obnoxious.
Sky's blue,
Sorry.
grass is green. Texas is obnoxious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like that SpongeBob episode. I'm Texas. I thought you were stupid. What's the difference?
Yes.
Buy our merch.
Not that you guys are stupid. You're
Batman
obnoxious,
vs.
though.
Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Produced by Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment in association with Nickelodeon. It is based on the 6-issue intercompany crossover comic book miniseries Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by James Tynion IV and Freddie Williams II. Directed by Jake Castanera. I will ask you this: when you listen to the movie, did that not sound like Kevin Conroy?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't Kevin Conroy.
Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else was in this though? John DiMaggio. He was the Penguin,
Mhm.
or the Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze.
Well, and didn't he do Joker too?
Joker was done by Troy Baker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, any other? Oh, and Tara Strong did Harley Quinn. So,
Yeah.
Tara Strong did every voice in your childhood.
Tara Strong's great.
Yeah.
She's
Timmy
great.
Turner, Tommy from Rugrats. She did the Powerpuff Girls.
She did, 2 of them, Buttercup and
Yeah.
or
no,
all
just-
3 of them.
She's Raven.
She did the
She is
green one
Raven
and the
and
blue
Blue
one.
Twins.
She's great.
Yeah. And she's smoking hot.
Which is not part of why she's great, but yes.
And she does but you were right.
But yeah, but you,
I was
and
gonna say, like, you guys make it seem like I was wrong. I was like,
she
no.
also did the revival of My Little Pony, the one that's like the
Oh,
brothers
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's a whole thing that's beyond my level of comprehension.
I would like to achieve that level of comprehension. I heard it's awesome.
I heard it's pretty deep.
That's what I'm hearing.
You want to
dude.
be a brony?
Yeah, I kind of do, honestly. I've been on this for a while.
Can you see CJ as a brony? Poll question.
Well,
Here's the thing.
Before you go there, I was at a convention. I forget if it was Kansas City or Denver, the one I went to. Either way, it doesn't matter. But she was there, and when you get big celebrities like that, like they have their own little booth, and they have like Tara Strong will have a signing at 3:00 or whatever, right? And you're thinking like a bunch of little no, dude, like it was everybody but that looked like CJ was in this line getting autographs from Tara Strong, and they're like wearing like My Little Pony t-shirts, and I'm like, dude, the brand is strong, bro. Like the brand is strong with these guys.
my God.
I've heard for a really long time that we are missing out. on some like crazy shit.
I can't wrap my brain around just a bunch of
One
CJs
of
in a
these
My Little
left.
Pony line.
You do want it, you can have it. I
want it.
I have some pops upstairs.
Okay.
All right.
Only because
Actually-
you can have half of it though if you want. We'll
Can
split.
we pause the show because I got pee?
Okay. And I can
As
go
usual.
get a beer.
Yep.
All right, pause.
So much better.
All right, we're back. Baby water's back. I got a
Does
new
water
beer.
taste better out of a stolen cup?
Dude, when it's a free lunch, when it's stolen whatever, like it's so much better for sure. Yeah. The first thing, and I think not the only thing, but the first thing I ever saw as a kid were a pair of baseball gloves. So I could have hit better. I told you they were stolen
They were
gloves.
stolen.
I hit for 300 that season. Alrighty, what were we? Oh, main topic of the show.
I detuned your guitar, by the way.
Oh, thank you, CJ. What'd you think? Synopsis,
Of what?
not what you think. The synopsis.
Oh, Jesus. I can't,
Where'd you guys watch it?
on my couch.
When?
Oh,
Together? Like who was like?
Yeah. He was blowing me when we watched it.
So he just watched your.
He just watched my balls. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I watched the movie.
Okay, so 10 minutes.
I'll do all the
synopsis.
talking
Yeah.
for both of us. Okay. So the Turtles went to New York, right? No, that's not true at all. I'm a little drunk. Here's the thing.
We got a Dustin Memorial Day all
Yeah.
over again.
Here's the thing. The Turtles showed up in Gotham, and the Foot Clan were stealing a whole bunch of high tech from a whole bunch of different places. The Batman was like, "Fuck that," and went in to defeat the Foot Clan. Then the Turtles showed up. They fought Penguin. Batman and Shredder had a fight. Then the Turtles and Batman had a fight. Then they both figured out that they're both good guys. And then I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Ra's al Ghul showed up and partnered up with Shredder to beat the good guys. And they were making a fucking weather balloon. And hijinks ensued, basically, pretty much. Yeah,
So what'd you guys think?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No.
Really?
Really.
Okay. What'd you think?
Man.
I really liked it. I did. I like the dynamic between, I guess particularly just with Michelangelo and just like he brought the...
Michelangelo was cool.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I liked it. I liked it. For what it was, for like a Nickelodeon show and a DC animated movie, I really liked it. Really.
Yeah.
What's your beef with it?
It's lazy. It's very lazy. And you know what? Looking at the comics up there, it drives my point home.
Okay, well, spoilers from your CJ song.
Go fuck yourself if you haven't seen the movie. You son of a bitch.
The comic is different
It's so
as far as, so,
they put no effort into the character design. They put no effort really into
I
the
didn't
voices.
like the turtle design.
It's
that.
terrible.
I didn't like
Yeah.
that. If that's the Nickelodeon design that they have for the show now, then I'm not a big fan. I
It's
didn't.
not.
I didn't
The
like
Nickelodeon's terrible, and it's better than that. And it's still awful.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't
There,
like it.
it's.
There hasn't been a good character
They look
design
really-
for the Turtles since before TMNT
Yeah.
movie.
They look really wonky.
Yeah, the no nose thing is throwing me off. Like
Yeah.
they just look like.
They just look blobs
Yeah.
of paint
Yeah.
with stripes across their face. Like I don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like. I did
It's
like.
lazy. It's lazy.
I did like Batman's character design. I like that. Like.
Batman was cool.
Yeah, I like that character design.
Shredder, I didn't think it was that great. It was okay.
I like Shredder. Well, there are some major differences in the comic book, and there's actually 3.
Shredder seemed like a wuss to me.
I thought he came out
They
looking
kinda
pretty
made
good.
Batman
Yeah, he was the beta
They made
of
Batman
the
kind of a
villains, and
douchebag, too.
I would think like with Raza and him, like they're both like alphas, but like he kind of like step aside.
Yeah,
to
fuck that.
rough
Shredder
and
doesn't
stuff.
do that.
Yeah,
Shredder's
fucking
just-
Shredder.
It's Shredder, I'm
Yeah.
saying. And, like, why did... I don't know, I have a whole bunch of beefs with this, but...
Keep
like
going.
that
This
would
is
be
what the
like
show's about.
like if,
Why... I don't like how they threw away the best fight in the beginning. Like, I know, like, Shredder vs. Batman, that's badass.
Yeah.
Build up to that. Don't just...
And actually, well, what I'm trying to get to is I didn't read all of it, but I did read it a couple years ago, and then I read it now, because there's now three different series. There's Batman vs. Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3. 3 just is now out. I read 1 and 2. But this is just based off the first one.
Do they remember each other? Is it
No, they don't remember each other, but
So it's 3 separate stories.
the movie is strictly the first one.
Oh.
But it's...
Do they connect?
It's kind of different. Yeah, they connect somehow, yeah.
So they remember, we fought with this guy before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
But the way that the Turtles actually get to Gotham is interdimensional. That's how they explain it.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
That's how it should have been.
Because we didn't get anything like, what are they doing here to the very end? It's like, we got to get back to New York. Where in the comic book, what happened is they accidentally fell to this universe in Gotham. And there's a cool line at the very beginning in the very first issue where they're like, everything's different here. Like, who's to know what's what? Because in our world, where we're standing here is just a huge empty like forest or void or whatever. But here it's Gotham City, and actually, them and Shredder's trying to use this machine for nefarious reasons, obviously, right? But the Turtles are trying to use it to go back to their universe, because if they don't, and I think this is a cool way to explain it. So Lucius Fox is in the comic book, and he explains that. So you can interdimensionally travel. That's fine. Like in the comic books, you can do that, right? But what doesn't transfer over is elements that don't exist from one universe to another, right? So metal exists in Batman's universe and in the Ninja Turtles universe, so that can transfer over, which is why they can have their swords, their scythes, all that stuff. What doesn't exist in Batman's universe, though, is that mutagens that transform the Turtles from Turtles to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So the longer they stay in Batman's universe, they're deteriorating to just regular ass turtles, and it's a race against time, dude. It's really good.
That's way cooler.
It's like that movie.
Yeah, it's really
wow.
good.
Like
yeah.
now saying that, like now my mega goes to shit now.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I told you, just looking at the first 3 pages.
Yeah.
Splinter was in it. He looks like a badass.
Oh yeah,
where the fuck was
Splinter?
Splinter?
Splinter was in this. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually the one that finds the Batcave, not the Turtles. Which to me
It's cooler.
is cooler because Splinter is like
Splinter's the dude.
he's the guy. He's the brain behind the Turtles. And to me, I didn't buy in the movie that the Turtles would find the Batcave.
Well, yeah, and like,
I mean, you could. I could.
maybe Donatello,
Leo.
who found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like with Splinter, like they kind of just did like a kind of
But it's better.
4 second like, oh, Splinter's our master. Okay, like no, Splinter's part of the whole team. Like where was he at?
And Damien, who's in the movie, isn't in the first comic book. He's in the second one, but not the first one. In the
I
first
don't
one,
mind
it's just
that.
Batman.
Damien was cool.
Okay, yeah.
Most of my beef comes from the Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Damien's characterized differently. Like he was like, yeah, like I'm up for this, and usually in the comic books he's kind of a dick.
I think he's actually, just from what I've been reading, in Nightwing anyway, he's less of a dick.
Yeah, but he's still dick, because they've softened him a little bit now that he's within the Bat family. But that first storyline and
Like Son of Damien
Son of-
type
yeah.
era shit. Yeah.
I also didn't like Batman.
Or Son of
villains.
Damien. Son of Batman.
They kind of seemed a little weak.
Not Son
the
of
Bat
Damien.
villains.
Yeah.
Did you like that transformation bit?
No.
No.
No, that's one of the worst. That's one of my biggest.
That's
beefs.
when like I kind of stopped with that movie. I was like, done.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
When
They're
Joker,
not- they're
Joker
all-
turns into a snake, like come on.
That makes so much sense, though.
That's not as bad. I don't like that, or I don't love it anyway. If you're gonna do that though, why wouldn't you change his voice? Harley Quinn's gonna turn into a Rat King and sound just like that.
No, I think she was a hyena.
Whatever she was, she's not gonna sound like Harley fucking Quinn. Like the voices in this movie bothered me a lot. I didn't like any of the voices, to be honest. I liked one voice.
Even though Tara
Ra's al
Strong...
Ghul's voice was cool. Tara Strong was perfect, but not when you turn into a hyena.
Yeah.
You're not gonna keep the same. That was just weird to me. It's just weird.
I do get the feeling, though...
Baxter was one of my least favorite voices.
Yeah.
That was... Come on, bro. That was terrible. Honestly, F voice acting for this movie.
Really?
Even with Troy Baker.
Especially Troy Baker. I didn't like
man.
that. Keep Kevin Conroy. There's a reason they keep bringing his ass back. Because he's the only one who needs to be doing animated Batman. Is Kevin Conroy the only person who needs to be doing animated Batman? Bull question.
Alright, well, what is one thing you liked?
Batman. That's about
Batman.
it.
I like Batman. Batman was cool. He was kind of douchey, though. Like, Batman doesn't say cowabunga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that a little bit.
And Batman doesn't go pizza party. Like,
Yeah.
He just made him like...
Oh, we forgot 2 other. Tom Kenny was a penguin. And,
Tom Kenny was the Penguin.
I do remember Pingo being...
And then Carlos Alazraqui was Bane.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Bane was such a small part in that, though.
Yeah.
And then... my beef... It's not the perfect movie. I enjoyed it. I knew going in that I was gonna be like, with association with Nickelodeon, so I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But I didn't like Poison Ivy's part of that because they turn him into animals and she's a plant because I get it, she's Poison Ivy, but
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So let's see.
If you're gonna pick
that movie like ran off the rails right at that point when they started changing.
I think if you're gonna pick a movie that has those kind of offbeat beats in Batman, pick Batman Ninja. That's better. As opposed to this.
Because Batman Ninja was out there and it swung for the fences, and whether you agree or whether you liked it or not,
that was cool.
It's super fucking cool.
Yeah.
There was a scene at the end of the movie where a million monkeys make one. Have you seen it?
Just be obnoxious. That's what I like. Yeah.
Just throw it over the top.
A million monkeys make one Batman, and they're fighting with Mecha fucking Joker. Like that is fucking.
That's way better than if you're gonna be just weird and off the rails. Do that. I like that.
I 100% agree.
That's pretty awesome.
Honestly, watching this movie a lot made me want to watch Batman. So that happened a lot, actually.
You know what? I'm going to watch it. I have it on Blu-ray. I'm going to watch it tonight, actually.
I mean, it's not bad, dude.
It's on a DC app, too.
One of the things I also didn't like about this is, like, man, they're punching us in the face with the whole pizza thing. We get it. Turtles like pizza, but god damn it. It was just too much.
Yeah, make Batman... Find a way to write that to make Batman list not Batman.
All right, man.
And then Batman learns about togetherness. Batman has never in his life learned about togetherness. That's... Come on now. I'm sorry. Togetherness stopped when he was 10 years old in an alley.
When his parents' blood was on his face. Yeah, that's the togetherness stuff.
Togetherness was done.
He's sitting in the alley. And
Fuck togetherness, bro.
He's like, in 30 years, I'm going to learn about togetherness.
Yeah.
But not tonight.
No,
like,
never.
No.
Nah, togetherness is never, nah.
Just, yeah.
I get that could be the Turtles thing, but it's like they took this thing, and it should have been greater than the sum of its parts, but it's like it's subtracted from each other.
So now then, I challenge you guys to read that comic book. It's good. It's good.
I bet it's better.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better.
Just flipping through it, I could tell it's better.
Well, there's that one, and then the second one, it has to do with Donatello not feeling like a part of the family or whatever, and then he ends up like mutating into this huge turtle. It's good.
They always fuck with Donnie. I noticed that.
And then I haven't read the third one actually, and it just came in the mail yesterday. So
whenever they need a quick turtle death or someone to get hurt, Don, he got his arm broken.
He did get that was pretty gnarly.
That was
yeah. That
part was great actually. When they're both flying up in the air, that was cool.
He's like, dude, I think it took up. He's like, I think I could tell.
You turned it more on somehow. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Michelangelo was really good in this.
Michelangelo was cool.
Yeah.
I'm protecting the citizens. The citizens.
And he's when he pushed all the buttons in the car, that was pretty cool.
Damon's like, I've always wanted to push all the buttons. See,
they're redeeming qualities.
So like, I get it. Like, it's not the greatest, but I went in there like, oh, okay, I get it. This is for kids.
Yeah, it is for kids.
Yeah. So
it's not for assholes like us to sit around
and criticize it, like throw it in the dirt.
So it was good. I liked it. I should say good, but I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I will say though, and this isn't indicative to the movie towards me, anyways. But I did fall asleep and I had to watch it the next day.
So did I, and I never rewatched it.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Where'd you end?
Whenever they were going into Arkham, I fell asleep, and then I woke up when they were fighting the Joker as a snake.
Oh, dude, you missed quite a good portion of it.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
Alrighty, so
I woke up with
okay, so I did.
I remember them transforming.
But now after you say like the comic book version is like so much better, I have to pull my ranking.
And actually, Ra's al Ghul isn't introduced. There's the 7-issue miniseries.
They have Penguin and the Shredder together.
Yeah, it's more of a Penguin Shredder thing. Ra's al Ghul isn't introduced until
which makes it better, I think.
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul and Shredder are two. Yeah, they're two. Not the same, but they're playing off the same kind of idea.
I feel like Raz's like villainous kind of stuff, and Shredder's are two totally different.
They're both like the stoic.
Check it out real quick.
They're both like
That's issue 3.
They're both the stoic fucking like head of household fucking. I don't know how to say it. Penguin is
the
more,
alpha.
Yeah, and Penguin more fits in with either one of those. I think better than they fit together. I don't know exactly how to say it. I'm trying to think, but
I like the art style on that. It looks really grindhousey
really
and
good.
stuff, but it looks like that like that.
I want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is probably awesome.
They read a T-Rex? That's awesome. Where was this at?
They wrote a T-Rex.
No,
Well, they didn't ride a T-Rex, but a T-Rex was there to be ridden.
I do like the part though where
That makes sense.
he's wearing his Batman suit, right? And he's wearing the turtle, and then later when they turn Batman into the huge man bat, sorry I wore your hat.
this
This
is... Make this movie.
Yeah.
This is... Wow.
It's on the DC app, dude. If you guys want to check it out, like for sure.
I will.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And it's two of my favorite things as a child.
Yeah,
It should have
exactly.
been-
Dude, my first two loves are Batman and Ninja Turtles
too.
too. Yeah.
It's like meeting Superman and realizing that he's fat, alcoholic, and unemployed, you know?
I'm looking for a job.
I'm between jobs.
But yeah, okay, so we'll end it there. We'll keep it a short one since it seems like you guys didn't like it. So I do have to ask though, give us a rating.
I'd give it a... I'm going balls.
Balls. Wow.
Yeah.
Barker, you're up.
I'm also going balls.
Balls. Damn. All right. I am going.
If you would have never told me
Stay true to
how
yourself.
this comic books was, like I said, my ranking would have been a little bit higher. But now, yeah, I'm totally disappointed.
Stay true to yourself.
And I am. Be persuaded by you fucks. I give it the tit. Because I went in there totally expecting either... thanks, Parker, for the win. Once I saw, honestly, the opening credits and I saw in association with Nickelodeon, I knew then it's like, okay, well, I should turn down my
It's a different set of
expectations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So then with that, I had fun with it, but ultimately, I did have fun with it. I laughed a lot at Michelangelo. But yeah, the Batman thing, whatever, I get it. It's for kids. But yeah, I had fun with it, so you can have fun with the tit. So it's the tit. So you guys did it. You guys had no obligation to watch the movie because I kind of laid it. Well, let me start here. So that was part 1 of 2 actually of the main topic, and where I was going with that is they have no obligation to watch it because I dropped it on you guys super late, but I didn't find out about it till yesterday. It's the 30-year anniversary of the 1989 Batman. And it came out. Oh shit!
Yeah, just put that in. That only works in certain situations, so I'm gonna keep using it.
It came out June 23 of 1989. So 30 years.
10 days?
In about
That
10
was-
days or so, yeah.
You were born in '89, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before me. Well, no, I was February, March, April, May, June. I was about 4 months old. Yeah.
We weren't even born yet.
You guys were
October
90
of 89. Both.
October of 89. So the movie was directed by Tim Burton, obviously.
Fuck, we're almost 30. Goddamn.
Yeah.
You're 30.
I am 30.
Oh.
The movie
Balls
grossed
gross.
$40.49 million. At the time was the biggest single opening weekend of all time.
And
And
it's
then
the first official iteration
of Batman. It was the first movie to reach, or the fastest movie to reach $100 million. It reached it in 11 days.
Wow.
Which I actually went to Google and see what $100 million is now, give or take. So that means it would have made in 10 days about $202 million. So about
Which
double.
Didn't
So.
Avengers like double that in like an hour? So no. I'm not counting.
So
Who's counting?
okay, so at the time, if we were to take it to 2019, it wouldn't be great grossing, but it'd be decent. So
It wouldn't touch the Avengers. I'm not.
What-
It's
what'd
not
you
here
say?
or there.
You said
No
202
one's
million?
counting.
Opening weekend.
opening weekend.
Yeah. Oh, it was the fastest movie to reach $100 million. It was the fastest movie to reach $100 million at the time.
But if we go by 2019,
If we go-
that's still not bad.
$200 million.
Oh, it's good.
There's only been like 4 movies ever to open at like $200 million. The 2 Avengers movies, and I think one of the Mockingbird, or one of the what are they called?
Oh,
The Mockingjay.
Hunger Game.
One of the Hunger Games.
Hunger
movies.
Games.
There's a handful of movies only, so Batman would have been
Avatar,
close.
probably.
Yeah. So
That's still not bad.
actually, Avatar didn't actually have a big
Good
opening.
Really?
The way it made all that money was weekend after 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 weekend, and that's how it made all
So
that money.
Avengers is
So.
still better. Actually, it's a pass there, right?
Not yet.
No, you're lying.
No, I
But they count in
I did the
DVD
math
sales
this
too,
morning.
don't they?
No.
Shit like that? No?
It's box office.
That's it? It's going to, though, right?
It's. I think I saw it's.
Because it's still not out overseas. Like,
Yes, it is.
no, it's out. What I mean is not. It's still showing overseas. It has to be.
I did the math. Whenever I did the math for that, it's $54 million off.
You can make 54.
Maybe.
You can do it.
It's 2 months out.
I hope so.
Okay.
I want it to really badly.
Can we all
Fuck
be in
James
agreement,
Cameron.
like-
I want that to be the nail in James Cameron's coffin until he makes more Avengers or Avatar movies.
I just feel like the Batman, like that first movie. I mean, Tim Burton hit out of the park.
Well, the people were speculative as far as wanting them. People didn't want him to have the movie because the only movie he had up to that point was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And then
Tell him Large Mars sent you.
And then after that, though, he had Beetlejuice. So then that's why him and Michael Keaton worked so well. And actually, Michael Keaton, if Twitter and the internet existed at the time, they would have fucking
raked him over the coals.
Dude, no, I was reading.
Because he was Mr. Mom.
I was reading yesterday that these nerds took out a huge ad in the New York Times, probably the biggest newspaper at the time. Took out a huge ad saying that they shouldn't cast Michael Keaton.
Wow, bunch of dicks.
Yeah, other people they were considering for Batman though. Let me see if you like any of these better. I have it here.
So we got to go off of like we're 1989.
1989.
We don't even know Michael
Height
Keaton.
of their power.
Okay,
right?
okay, so
we have Mel Gibson,
Michael
Sheen, and
Michael Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. No, not Martin Sheen. Charlie Sheen. Or Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan would have been a good Batman.
Yeah.
Just the way he looks. He was James Bond, so he looks.
He has that debonair kind of feel to him.
Christian Bale is Welsh.
Yeah, but Christian Bale's a better actor.
Maybe if he can fit. No, you're right. He's like method actor. So yeah. And actually, do you guys want to hear who they were thinking about the Joker before Jack Nicholson?
Oh, I knew this.
There's 3.
Oh, I didn't know that. Just tell me.
John Lithgow. You know who John Lithgow is?
That would have been different.
The one I would want to see is Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Tim Curry.
They said like he was like to that point, and then something happened, and he like because they did like test screening with him, like with the makeup and everything. That and they're like, yeah, if it wasn't for Jack Nicholson, like we would have had Tim Curry on that. That would have been a really good Joker.
Tim Curry kills it in everything he does.
Yeah.
And
he was the thing in Ferngully.
He was Pennywise.
He was the evil.
He was Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture
He was
Show.
He was
Nigel Thornberry.
He was Nigel Thornberry. I should say evil. He was kind of the dickish door guy at Home Alone. Yeah. The other third person, which would have been interesting, but I don't know if I see this, is David Bowie.
One of my weirdest encounters ever with another human is because of Tim Curry.
Oh.
I was driving a feed truck, and the window was down, and there's a lot of backstory here, but I'm not going to tell it all.
What was it? They think you're gay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This dude totally thought I was gay, which, I mean, it's what,
Were
whatever.
you singing something off the Rocky Horror movie?
No, I was just, for some reason, I was on a Tim Curry kick. I don't know why. I was just going through Tim Curry lines in my head, and I screamed, "I love you!" like just randomly.
Oh, that's right.
And I passed him when I said that, and he just turned. What the fuck? Like he had no context, no nothing. He just heard this guy who he already thinks is gay just drive by and scream, "I love you!"
And honestly, now that I think about it, the second time I've heard this story, it's better that you leave it that way because it'd be so much weirder if you tell no, dude, I'm going through a Tim Curry phase.
Tim Curry phase.
And I was going through his movie lines, and it's "I love you." Then he would have been like, "What the fuck? Who's Tim Curry?"
That's way worse. Yeah.
I was on the Omniverse, and somebody actually put on Twitter. They're like, it's like I sit in my room wondering how Tim Curry's doing, and Tim Curry goes on there. He's like, "Well, I'm sitting here going through Twitter eating Oreos. I'm doing just fine." Thank you, Tim Curry.
Not to bring the show down because we're having a good time thinking about Tim Curry, but he had a massive stroke like 3 years ago, and now he's just like a shell of himself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sucks.
So this one goes out to Tim Curry.
I'm down for that, actually. Here's Tim Curry. Who would have been a great Joker?
And then you said David Bowie. I mean, yeah, he looks kind of like the Joker, but I couldn't see him. I couldn't see him do it.
Because if you see Pan's Labyrinth, he's kind of more laid back, where the Joker's kind of
more out.
Yeah, the vibe doesn't really work.
Well, I watched it. I don't know if you guys did, and I said you guys didn't have to because I laid it on you last minute. But since I took the day off and I watched my daughter today, I watched it because she would not leave my side, which is fine. But I was like, I can't get anything else. So let's watch Batman. Jack Nicholson blows it out of the fucking water in that movie. I forget how good he is in that movie. He's not You can try to compare Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson, but they're
different.
two different Jokers.
Yeah.
Because one is more grounded in real life, and like I get that, and more directed by Christopher Nolan and stuff. Where Jack Nicholson being directed by Tim Burton is like super surreal.
More
He's out there,
goofy,
yeah,
but still
yeah.
kind of that villain. So. Yeah, he didn't do a bad job. I liked him on that.
Yeah, and the thing that had me cracking up is after he turned into the Joker and after he killed the main boss guy that had the hit out for him or whatever, is he was telling the other mob bosses that he's in charge now. And he was like, well, what if we refuse? It's a handshake and that's it, you know? But he has one of his electric tasers and he's like, thrusting him over, like, oh, you have such a strong handshake. Oh, you know, it's just like, and he's cracking up and the whole thing. And you could, and I've read interviews before that Tim Burton never actually read a Batman comic book or any comic book at all, for that matter. And you can tell in this movie because Batman does openly kill in this movie. And there's actually, if you guys do watch the movie over the weekend,
He kills more people than Jeffrey Dahmer did.
Yeah, and that's funny. And no, there's a scene. there's a scene in the line, very specifically in the dialogue, where he's fighting Joker at the end of the movie in the chapels, you know, at the top of the church or whatever, the cathedral. And he literally tells the Joker, I'm going to kill you. I'll kill you for killing my parents. So, yeah, like, he doesn't care. And a lot of people do criticize this movie that Tim Burton was more concerned with actually the Joker. And you can kind of tell, because the movie is kind of centered around the Joker as far as like,
for Tim Burton,
his origin story, like his character development and stuff. So, but yeah, if you know anything about Tim Burton, Pee-wee, like we mentioned, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Nightmare Before Christmas.
A
like
lot
all
of
those,
anti-heroes there. And Joker falls most in line with that.
Well, not only anti-heroes, but weird, like really kind of off.
Joker falls in line with that.
Yeah. And that's okay, I think, because yes, it's Batman, but I get it, and we've had better Batman movies since then, obviously. But I really like the legacy for me for that movie is. I really love that movie. Like, I love Batman 1989, so...
That's probably one of the better Batman movies.
I agree.
And then just Jack Nicholson having that iconic Joker smile and everything yeah.
Jack Nicholson was upset with Heath Ledger because he didn't ask him
if you
like, for advice or...
Oh, really?
Like, he didn't come to him like, how would you do it? And why would you? Like, it's not the same character.
Yeah, it's a different
You're doing
character.
somebody completely different. Yeah. There's no advice he can give.
That always seemed weird to me. Like, I get before the movie, but after you see it, don't you say, like, no, what help could I have given him?
Yeah.
Like, nothing.
It's like going up to Tiger Woods and being like, I'm going to be a really good boxer. Any advice? Like, I don't know.
But Tiger Woods, if he was such a dick that he could think he would help you with boxing, yeah.
No, he knows golf. Like, that's all he can do.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson is the golfer thinking he can help you fucking with your jab. That's all I'm saying.
And actually, this was very... for a lot of things, like, I don't want to say mischaracterization, but a different characterization of Batman, different than in the comic books. Obviously, killing and all that stuff. But also...
Ben Affleck kills.
Yeah, he does a lot of people. But this is actually the very first time ever, it was never done in the comics, that Joker was actually responsible for killing Thomas and Martha Wayne. Jack Napier. And the only other time that Jack Napier has been used in the comics is the recent comic that came out last year or the year before called The White Knight, where Batman and the Joker kind of flip roles.
Because Jack Napier is not the Joker, is he?
No.
Yeah.
We don't know who the Joker is.
Well, yeah, but it's not specifically Jack Napier.
Yeah. And then the guy that killed Batman's parents is Joe Ice.
Yeah, Joe Chill.
Oh, Joe Chill. Sorry, Joe Ice. Same, Joe Chill. But yeah, so like this movie specifically goes out to say that Jack Napier, who's the Joker, is the reason why Batman was created. And there's actually
That's less cool.
Yeah, because then it's a super small world. Yeah. And at the end, actually, when they're fighting that same scene where he say, "I'll kill you," he's like, I should kill you. You created me. And then Batman's like, well, actually, you created me first. And then then they kind of go back at it or whatever. It's like a vicious circle kind of thing. And I do like that because that ends up in one of my favorite gags and bits of all time. And that's what I love about the Jokers, because it's super comic kind of, not now Joker, but like early Joker comic books where he's zany, zingy, whatever.
Corny.
Corny has a bad connotation to it, but I know what you're saying. But he pulls out his glasses and he's like, "You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?" And he just like punches him right in the nose.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Zane's better, bro.
Yeah. And he punches him in the mouth, and the Joker still like has, or Jack Nicholson, I should say, the character how he's written, still has the frame of mind to like throw the chopping teeth or whatever. Like, dude, it's really, I really enjoy the Joker in this movie because it's a different Joker than what we're used to now. He's so serious, like whatever, but like in this movie, he's different. And honestly, the one scene that always sticks to me from this movie is the art scene where he goes up to Vicky Vale and like they're destroying the art and stuff, and they have Prince wrote the entire soundtrack to this movie. Do you guys know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's cool, man. I dig it.
You can only watch one Joker for the rest of history.
Probably still Heath Ledger though.
Mark
damn right.
But that's another challenge. Don't do it all at once because you guys have lives. But because I don't. But watch that movie and then. Let me know what you think, because you'll be surprised how good the Joker's in that movie. Okay. Let's see.
I still pick Heath.
Oh, well, yeah, I do too. I just
remember
watched it today.
this is statute of limitations is up, but I totally watched this movie high as fuck like 10 years ago.
This movie?
Hated it.
Really?
High, don't watch it high.
Don't watch it high?
Yeah, it sucks. It makes it suck. And I haven't been able to. I think it sucks. Like, I haven't been able to get out of that. Don't ever watch this movie high. That's all I'm saying.
It ages well, but it doesn't age well at the
On
same...
weed. Just weed.
You
know what? Edit this whole thing out. Fuck all that. I don't want to tell people I was high.
Okay,
I don't give a shit. Fuck, I was high. On heroin.
Okay.
I'm either going to double down or not. I don't give a shit.
So, it ages well, and it doesn't age well at the same time. It ages
Yeah, okay. The reason it sucks when you're high is because you see it as... The set pieces look terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. It ages well as a story, I think. It's creative.
Right, correct.
It's,
as far as movie making,
yeah,
awful.
Yeah.
Because it's well known.
It's like
that,
a play.
It's well known that Michael Keaton couldn't move in his bat suit, so he's like when he's turning, he's like
he looks
turning
robotic,
like this.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and this is great for podcasting. But what I did is I turned my shoulders instead of my neck.
Did you? It acts as a play in a movie.
Yeah.
They're on a Broadway stage. And
Everything's a set piece. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
nothing is real.
It's
yeah.
annoying.
Which is why
That's why I couldn't watch it though.
Which is why Chris Nolan's movies are so grandiose, because it's like they went to Chicago, they went to Hong Kong, like they did the whole thing, so it looks like a huge fucking spectacle.
And it is, which it
is.
is.
Well, and even whatever you say about the Joel Schumacher movies, the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin,
they look better.
They look better because it although they might be on a soundstage and they look like they're built or whatever, it doesn't look so like close setty, you know. And I get that. Yeah, it looks more like a play.
That's actually my biggest beef. Well, story aside, just I remember how it looked, and
well, and then
I just associate that visual with the movie now.
Well, and because of the technology and it being the first Batman movie ever, his costume doesn't age well. It looks really rubbery, really styrofoamy. Yeah. And it looks really bad actually in the second one, Batman Forever, where he at the end of the movie he rips his mask off or whatever, and it looks super like latexy. Yeah. So, and it is what it is. Like you're never gonna get. Well, no, the Ben. Say what you will, the Ben Affleck one was pretty good, I think.
Chris Whale's better.
Well, that one's kind of more. People compare that more to like a motorcycle. What you would wear to ride motorcycles, because it's like whatever. And they actually wrote it into the story where they were like, I need something where I can turn my head. So in the movie, and specifically in The Dark Knight, it looks more like a motorcycle helmet, where it's kind of like it gives them the movement and stuff, which is good because that is more grounded in like. That's if there was ever a Batman, you want to be flexible. You don't want to be moving like. Like this, but I do like the. Although it does looks really stagey and whatever sound pieces and all that stuff. I do like how it looks as far as like gothic and shit like that, like really dark.
That's true.
Well, because
that's just Tim Burton.
Yeah, very, very, very. I know you're never gonna find the person, but like somebody that's never seen Batman but knows of Tim Burton, it's like you watch who directed it. I bet you'll say Tim Burton because it's very.
Tim Burton.
It's very like the lighting of it, like it's really like you said, kind of a more gothic, like dark.
Yeah. Noir is what.
Noir,
yeah.
Well,
just the same way you can pick out a Nolan movie or a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Each director has it. I forgot to mention that Quentin Tarantino's directing a Star Trek movie. It's gonna be rated R, so that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool.
I'd watch it. I like Tarantino.
But
I fucks with it.
yeah, coming back to this though, well, this inspired Batman the Animated Series, which, if anything, like we can thank that for that, yeah. And I love that. I love that look of Batman, where it looks like it's set in the 1920s and the 1930s, because all the mobsters, all the gangsters have the long coat. They have the hat or the zoot suits, yeah.
I might be willing. I'll watch. I haven't seen all the Batman animated series. I don't remember it. If I watch it now, it will be different than I remember it as when I watched it. I'm going to watch it again. That might be the only rival I can think of to the MCU in terms of longevity, quality over that longevity. Never.
I've wanted an excuse to watch that again.
It's on the DC app.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'm looking for, by the way, when I talk about rivals. Quality over a period
It's
of
Breaking
longevity.
Bad. It's Breaking
It's
Bad.
not Breaking
Yeah.
Bad. It's not Breaking Bad. The MCU is standalone, and that's why I say it's.
Well, it's on two different scales. It's at two different scales. Breaking Bad's a TV show
And the MCU is unprecedented
for movies.
for anything.
For
For
movies.
media. It's never. It's the most grandiose thing we have in all of media.
Why does it always have to come to the MCU? We're talking about Batman right
Because
now.
I'm a fanboy and I love it, and I can't get over it.
We have
Anyway,
yet to do.
I'm sorry.
We have yet to do a podcast that he doesn't talk about.
I would
either
just.
him
I
or
would
the
like.
MCU.
Yeah.
I would like to see where the animated series fits into that. I bet it's close.
Well,
I bet it's good.
It's close, but it ends up veering off to something else though, because it starts with Batman the Animated Series, and then it turns into
Batman Beyond comes right after that.
yeah. But what I mean though, stylistically or whatever, like they're all kind of like one after the other. So then it's the Adventures of Batman and Robin, and then it's like Batman Beyond, and then within that it's like Justice League, and then Justice League Unlimited.
You're saying count that as the whole thing.
If you want to take the
That's
whole
cool.
you're gonna have to.
That's cool. I can't think of anything else that even would come close to it. Not The Office, not Arrested Development. Unfortunately, they could have.
But I think it's if you're gonna have to do those things, you're gonna have to do a different category
Why?
because
Why can't we
movies
put it
and
all
TV
together?
show are different.
Yeah.
The budgetary restraints that Game of Thrones, the reason that was so different is because that was the
That
first
movie
TV
budget
show
on
that had a
TV.
movie budget, and the argument isn't what you think they did with it or whatever, because even if you think it was dog shit, the writing, visually, that scene where Drogon is blasting King's Landing, like you can't tell me. You can't slap that on a
Right,
movie.
correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's different. Game of Thrones, I think, stands different. But no other TV show is going to have that budget. So you're going to have to depend more on writing than on that, because you have to take the spectacle.
But that's what I mean.
You have to take the spectacle that is the Marvel Universe, combine it with the writing, combine it with everything else. But that is an entire. The entire last hour, the third act of that movie is just a huge CGI battle.
But that's what I mean. There is no point in which you're disappointed throughout the 22 movies.
But if you're going to use the word disappointed.
When are you disappointed?
No, well, that's what I'm trying to say. If you're trying to think of something...
Even if you go back to Thor: The Dark World, your expectations aren't where they... There's no disappointment there. There's no drop-offs.
If we're going off the single basis that you're saying that you were not disappointed from beginning to end, a majority of people will say Breaking Bad.
I was very disappointed at the end. The whole fifth season, I hated it.
Well, that's probably a minority, because most people were sad.
You think so?
He can't win. He can't win.
Why?
He can't win.
He's Walter White. He should win.
He did the complete 180. He
I don't
can't.
like it.
He's an unredeemable
I don't like
character.
it.
No.
Lame.
Anyways, Batman, 1989.
That's a good show, though.
With the animated series.
What I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Rubber. Jack Nicholson was actually nominated for a Golden Globe for this movie, so that's pretty good.
Cool.
Was he the only one? Michael Keaton was he?
Not for
Michael
this
Keaton
movie.
got something.
Not for this movie. Maybe like an MTV award or something. But... Remember when they used to mean something?
No, they don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah. No awards really mean anything. Oscars maybe. That's probably the...
There is
Grammys don't mean anything anymore.
No, there is a bit in this movie though where it reminded me of Shazam. Remember Shazam, where they're like 4 miles away and they're like talking to each other? Well, this movie kind of does it, where it kind of pokes at the fun that Bruce Wayne is so rich and famous that he invites Vicky Vale over for dinner, and they're having like the first of a 5-course meal of soups, and they're at the end of the table and it's like, "Can you pass the salt?" And it's like, "Do you always have dinner in here?" And he's like, Actually, I don't even know if I've ever been in this room. And, so that's funny. That's funny.
He pokes at himself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's fine.
And actually, I was thinking about this. This could translate perfectly to a comic book. Why don't they've done a Batman 66 comic book? Why don't they've ever done a Batman 89 comic book? I think that'd be cool as fuck. And it doesn't. And going back to our conversation, it doesn't have to be continuity, CJ. It can be its own thing.
No, I'm not saying that can't exist.
Yeah.
I'm saying what is continuity is confusing.
Yeah.
And I'm not wrong.
No, you're absolutely not wrong. Because, especially when you first get into it, like Andres is always...
I'm trying. It's hard,
especially
dude.
Andres
It's hard.
Andres is always texting me, like, so, like, what's next? Kind of. But anyways, in its own vacuum thing, a comic book with this aesthetic is perfect.
Yeah, okay.
And they ruined...
It has a comic booky aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they ruined Billy D. Williams. They never did him as Two-Face. They should have done him as Two-Face. Instead, they did Tommy Lee Jones, who just did a rip-off performance of Jack Nicholson anyways. Basically, yeah. Because if you watch Batman Forever, he's like, hee, Googling. That's not Two-Face. Two-Face is not Googling and goggling and fucking kicking. And...
It's Two-Face Googling and goggling.
So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I
remember Tommy Lee Jones being good, though.
At that, yes,
right.
But that's not Two-Face.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And dude, as a kid,
a kid, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I love that movie as a fucking kid, But
he's more that grounded, more like calm villain and everything that
like an Aaron Eckhart was in The Dark Knight. Yeah,
he did a good
better.
Yeah.
Well, more true.
Yeah,
more true to.
But the reason I wanted to bring that up is this movie, for a lot of reasons, holds a special place in my heart because I love Batman, and actually one of my first vivid memories is not from this movie, but it is spun off from this movie, is Batman Returns, the second movie. That was the first movie I remember watching at the movie theater. And actually, this will tell you something. The old movie theater on Main Street, just whatever's there now. I remember
the State Theater?
Yeah.
Just a stage.
I remember watching Batman Returns there.
Wow.
Back in 1992. Yeah.
Wow.
That was one of my first vivid memories of life.
So, this is... I don't know why I get it over.
And the animated series and Michael Keaton, like that whole aesthetic is to me very close to my heart. So, being 30 years, I feel on this podcast, needs to be talked about. So, that's what I brought up.
How did those villains shape... Okay, what's in there? Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, probably, Danny DeVito as the Penguin. How did those shape your idea of those villains? Like...
Well, it's very campy. It's very...
Would you rather have that? I guess, I don't know.
It had its time. It had its time and
You're
and
glad
place.
it's evolved, probably.
But I am glad it's evolved. But
because those are probably most people our ages first introduction to those villains, and what they base their ideas off of.
People in this generation now, that in this world that everybody has a podcast, everybody has a YouTube channel where they're talking about this shit. Like, this is their first idea of what they were, because everybody's in their 30s now, late 20s, early 30s, maybe pushing 40. This is their idea of, like, what their comic book, movies were. And now that we live in a fucking world that they gave us, like, a Scott Pilgrim that's a comic book, or they gave us a Sin City, like, they gave us everything. Like, this was the first... like, Superman was huge, right? But, like, it's not Batman, right? So, like, this is the first big one, and... it just always has a special place in my heart, and although my first Batman was actually Adam West, I remember watching those on syndication all the time. This is my first I'm collecting all the action figures. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's why from then on out, like, I watched Batman Forever. That was first, and then I watched this one from memory, anyways. And then I watched Batman Forever, and then I watched Batman and Robin. And yeah, those last two movies are terrible, not very good, but I watched them with an open heart, with nostalgia, like I'm so into them, and I and that's why I felt like when I read that article, this is we need to talk about it a little bit. So I'm glad I watched it. So yeah, I love this movie. So
nice. My first Batman was the animated series Batman. My first Batman on the big screen, George Clooney. I watched Batman and Robin first.
I did too.
Mine was animated, and then Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger made that movie for me. I was all about that shit. Hell yeah. Mr. Freeze, he was cool as fuck. Mr. Freeze was cool. Well, literally and figuratively. He was awesome. With
My
his
first-
one-liners.
Yeah, my first Batman was Adam West. So my mom would turn that shit on and we'd watch it at the old house when I was a kid growing up. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Michael Keaton, though, for what it's worth, good Batman.
He was a good
He
Batman.
was.
Yeah, and Michael Keaton proved that the dad bod can be a Batman. Because I was watching this movie and I'm like, you could tell he didn't lift a single weight to this movie.
He kept it straight
Yeah,
as
he
is.
kept it 100.
Yeah, I'll say from Batman to Birdman to the Vulture, here's to Michael Keaton. He's fantastic. Maybe a future NWO Hall of Fame inductee.
Who do we
perhaps.
have so far? We have
Brendan Fraser.
Gambino, right?
Gambino.
We used to have Gambino minute. Remember that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today, actually.
Yeah. And then that's it.
I think just those two, yeah. I
Well,
would like to put Keanu Reeves in.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves needs to be in there.
You know what?
Horseshit
One of
that's
the
not. He probably actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the unnamed shows, I think we should have the first Hall of Fame class of the NWO inductees.
Well, we already have, though. Not really. It's
Officially.
not official.
Yeah,
Official.
okay.
Okay.
I feel like we need to pick one each.
Okay, those three need to be there. And then we each get one after that. How about that?
No, okay, that's fine. So those three are not Keaton.
Brendan Fraser.
Can't be
Who's
him.
the first?
Yeah,
Gambino. And Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. And then after that, we each pick three. That makes six. And once a year, like we have the NWOs,
Okay.
once a year, then we have the NWO Hall of Fame, and we each introduce somebody into the NWO Hall of Fame as
You're
far
on
as
top of all that, right?
yeah, no, for sure, of course. Who else is?
Yeah, I'm not. So, yeah.
So one of the next open dates, we're gonna do that. So
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Damn.
Can you make your argument for that? Okay.
yeah.
Even, I mean, you don't really have to make an argument, but make one anyway.
Well, because every year
it's official. It doesn't matter.
Have we done it this year? The NWO Hall of Fame as far as movies?
No, we haven't.
Well, we need to do it this year. I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. I hope you're
Yeah.
on top of all this shit. 'Cause I'm super
So
not.
usually what we do every year, what we did the first 2 years was we introduced movies into our Hall of Fame that played a huge part in what makes Barker Barker, what makes CJ CJ, what makes Abel Abel. So the first year was actually just me and Andres. Andres picked Mean Girls, which is a great pick.
That's a good pick. That's probably one of the better picks.
And I picked Scott Pilgrim. And then the second year, which was me and CJ, what did you pick?
Predator.
Predator, and I picked
You picked Mystery Men.
Mystery Men.
Okay.
So I'm going off the beaten path a little bit,
Yeah.
which is fine. And CJ
There's
picked,
only one answer.
But
I
it
couldn't-
doesn't have to be popular.
But now I
it has to
do.
be like
Because-
the one movie that it
it makes you.
Yeah.
well yeah, like
because if honestly like I was going like straight like whatever like it's Batman '89.
It's the
you know
Predator is the foundation on which I laid my love for movies.
Yeah, yeah.
I love action movies.
yeah.
And part of it
To this
part
day,
of
I still tell people about when you got grounded from Predator. People are like, it blows their mind.
Actually, I tell that story all the time to people that aren't even so just like that know CJ. I was like, oh, I have a friend that was grounded from Predator.
Whenever I got in trouble, yeah, they took Predator away.
Alrighty, so you guys can give it a rating. You don't have to, but just because for shits and giggles, the anniversary, I'm giving it Kitty's Titties because I love that movie. So
I'll give it a tit.
I'll give it titties.
cool. All right, we are now getting the fuck out of here. Next week's show, I don't know if we want to do this. I put that on the calendar, but if we want to, we can do Toy Story. It's anything that we consider nerd.
Yeah, no, we choose what's under that umbrella.
Yeah. We need to make the decision now. If not, we can change it.
I've been
I'm
over Toy
for-
Story since the first Toy Story.
I'm a yes.
Yeah, I'm a no.
No, yes.
Okay,
'Cause he's
so-
a no.
Okay.
So Toy Story next week.
No, what alternative do we have?
Nothing really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
We could talk about Doom Patrol instead.
Well, somebody has to watch it.
I'm not. I mean, probably. I mean, no.
You are going to love it.
Probably.
Stop watching Barry and start watching Doom
And
Patrol.
we are going to. I have it on the calendar. If you'd accept all the things, you would know when Doom Patrol's coming.
I've read
up,
them.
So, okay. So
Going through all of them and pressing yes
Yeah,
was
so-
a hassle.
I'm gonna push no.
Well, then you're not doing that show then.
No, just go fuck people.
All right.
What if I change my mind? No, I don't want to push no later. What if I can't go?
Then just tell me. I make.
That's the whole point.
Well, this is. You know what? I'm not gonna get into this while we record. All right. So we're doing Toy Story. That was 2-1. We're doing Toy Story next week. What
I
are
was
your,
on the fence. I didn't really
What are your recommendations that you're reading, watching? What do you want to tell the folks?
Dustin would like to go first.
I wrote one down.
I'm actually gonna start watching Gotham. Just start season 1 and just kind of go.
I watched season 1 and because I heard
You know what? I'll watch Doom Patrol when you motherfuckers start watching Barry. How about that?
Anyways, so I heard season 1 is actually very different from everything else. Because season 1, they wanted to do something completely different.
Yeah.
The ratings didn't show it, so then they started doing like villain of the week kind of thing. So that sounds more appealing.
Yeah.
So it's not that I didn't like season 1, but I just kind of.
From what I heard, season 1 starts very slow.
Yeah, it does.
And like,
from what I remember, yeah.
But they're not,
you have to get through that, and then
they weren't building up a long game kind of thing.
I don't think that was the original plan. I think
what was the plan?
The plan was to get to Batman, but a very different way. I think they want to do more of a crime drama kind of thing, like Gotham, like on the ground level, like we're solving crimes, like this is Gotham. Where in season 2 and moving forward, ended up being like, here's Bane, here's Catwoman, here's Poison Ivy kind of thing. So it turned very different. So
well, and they wanted to they wanted to develop the characters a lot more instead of like season or episode 2. You know, you've got the Penguin. They wanted to kind of slowly get him from Cobblepot.
That's cooler.
But you know, it's
tell me what it is.
Yeah, you know what? I've been talking this whole time.
That's like the 4th time you've done it. I'm just not.
But yeah, so Gotham.
Okay.
So.
I actually am recommending that you guys read that first series of Batman Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's really good. Like I was telling you, it's a lot more in depth. It gives it more of a backstory, and it's really good. So yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to recommend not a movie because I watched Bad Times at Casino Royale or whatever.
Fuck you! I like that movie.
You watched it?
I love that movie.
You do?
Yeah. With John Hamm and Chris Hemsworth and I really like that movie.
What about it do you like?
I like the time setting. I like that it's set in the 60s.
That's cool.
I like the fact that we never know who's on that film at the end of the movie. That's probably what you didn't like.
No, I do like that.
Okay.
I don't like that it's so fucking slow for like 40 minutes and Chris Hemsworth's just talking. Which I like Chris Hemsworth, but he's just carrying it for like 40 minutes. Whenever they're all tied up. That's so long, and you could have just done much more.
That's
cool
not even
stuff.
the first. He didn't show up till like the last third.
And it lasts for fucking ever.
It's if you guys haven't seen that movie, it's a
what's it called? It's called
Bad Times at the
Royale Hotel.
Bad Times at the
Hotel Royale.
Hotel Royale, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. But it's a movie of. The other movie that I can remember.
It's kind of noir-y.
Yeah, it is. It's set in the 1960s. Yeah. And basically what it is this hotel that was very popular during the 1950s and 60s that, and I got a remedy for that for you actually after the show.
What?
You're next.
Oh, please.
And it's set in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. And basically this hotel is split in between California and Vegas. And during its heyday, a lot of politicians, a lot of big people went to this hotel. So, but what people don't know is this hallway ran behind all the rooms and they used to videotape everything.
Like a two-way mirror situation.
Yeah, two-way mirror, yeah. So then it's highly hinted at that they videotaped somebody having sex.
It was Martin Luther King.
I believe it's Martin Luther King. It's pointed at Martin Luther King or John F. Kennedy.
John Kennedy, the other one, yeah. Which isn't as bad because they knew he did that.
Yeah. But I've always known, actually, reputation-wise, that Martin Luther King was kind of a womanizer a little bit.
Was he too?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm learning that right now.
Yeah,
That's
really.
crazy.
Yeah. But what it is, it's like the movie shifts as far as like, okay, we're seeing the movie through John Hamm's character's perspective, and then we're seeing the movie through who else is in that movie?
I don't know.
There's a bunch of people. So then there's like 10 minutes
That's
that each
cool.
character gets, and then the end of the movie. What's his? Lebowski's in it. Jeff Bridges is in it. So like it's a thing, and like the reason they're all there is for all different reasons, but in the end it turns out for the same thing. So
not really.
Kind of.
See, it would have been cool if it was. If they all were there for that suitcase. That's what I had in my mind. In my head the whole time, I'm thinking they have heard the legend of this suitcase.
It sounds like a Pulp Fiction-y kind of...
It should have been. And it was not. It failed. And it disappointed me.
I like that movie.
I'm not here to hate it.
I'm here to
it's
your recommendation to not watch it.
I'm here to bemoan the fact that it's not better. I could have done it better.
I love that movie, so that's fine. CJ's recommending you guys don't watch it.
Watch it and make a... Okay, here's the thing. I love movies like that. Please watch that and do it better, because I want to watch your movie that you're going to make better, because I like those kinds of movies, just not that one.
Okay. If you guys have any suggestions or comments, let us know on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.
Do you agree the world needs more of those kinds of movies?
Yeah, I like those movies a lot, yeah.
Me too.
They're hard to make, though.
That's true.
You can find us personally on Facebook or Twitter.
At CGMFA.
At Saint_Able45.
Hold up. At Barker375.
Really?
I did.
You're going to have to add us.
I will.
Okay.
I caved in.
Okay, good,
So.
good.
It made you caught up.
The show locations, you can find us on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Libsyn, Stitcher, anywhere you can find the podcast. Buy some merch. We're going to have a sale next week again, so there's no excuse you guys shouldn't buy shirts. And I know I said I was going to make a list of people that bought shirts. I am this week, so and you guys are going to be officially part of something. But yeah, we're going to have a sale again next week. So starting the 19th, go buy a shirt. They're going to be cheap, so go buy it. Any donations at all, donate on Patreon or donate at our PayPal, nerdworldorder2@gmail.com. Thanks everybody for listening, commenting. We always appreciate everything. Anything else, guys?
Listen to my new hit jam single. It's called Fuck Your Mom.
Okay. Fuck your mom and obey the NW0. Bye, guys.
Obey.